I am Kerwin. This is Keith. We got a lot to talk about. This is a very good episode. We can't wait to get into it. We are talking about Agatha All Along, episode 6, Familiar by Thy Side. This was a heavy episode. It was almost an hour. And, it needed to do a lot of, well, not a lot of things, but there are two very important things that this episode needed to do. One, if you're not familiar with the comic books, you get to, okay, on the audio. All right.
I was signaling that to you earlier when I...
Okay. All right. Producer has it. Can you hear us? Good, Eric. Thank you very much.
All right, cool.
Thank you for joining us. Yes. All right. So this episode is a heavy episode. It is 1 hour, about 1 hour, but there are two things that it needed to do. One, if you're not a comic book fan, it needed to introduce you to William Kaplan, right? We needed to know who William Kaplan is,
Billy.
how he is related to William Maximoff. That storyline had to be told because in the comic books, Billy Kaplan dies. He is reincarnated. He reincarnates as William Maximoff, the son of Wanda Maximoff. The storylines in the comic books can be very, very confusing.
And very hard to adapt.
Right. Because you have multiple writers, giving their versions of the story, okay? Different of the storyline. So what the producers needed to do was to make sure that they tell the story in a cinematic way, right? So it had to feel right, that people understood it, that you didn't need to read the comic books, and that you can just pick it up just by this one episode. So pretty big episode.
Yeah, honestly, they really had a lot to do, a lot on the line with this episode, and they managed to accomplish it.
Right. Exactly.
In a good way. I actually enjoyed this episode.
Yes. And the other thing you need to do is, if you did not, for some reason, did not watch WandaVision, this episode also catches you up, all right? Which is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about how this episode does that.
And it does it in the first 15 minutes as well. The WandaVision recap doesn't take that long. Thankfully, because I wouldn't like to sit and watch through a show that I've already seen most of.
Yeah.
It just tells it from a different perspective.
Exactly. Very good. All right. Okay, let's get into it. All right. So we start off in this episode introducing us to William Kaplan. So he is a Jewish boy. He is going through his bar mitzvah.
Wait a minute, that means he's 13.
Is that the age?
I think.
Okay. All right.
Wait. He does not, Joe Locke does not look like he's 13.
No, he's older than 13, yeah, but, he has to play 13 the best he can.
They could have just recast him to be younger.
Right. So, okay. So, Billy is having this bar mitzvah. He has his parents that are played by Jeff Kaplan. Jeff Kaplan and Rebecca Kaplan are William Kaplan's parents in the comics, and are also in the series. Rebecca is played by Maria Dizia. Jeff is played by Paul Adelstein. Okay, all right. So we are at the ceremony. After the ceremony takes place, there's this party that's given. There is the theme is psychic or magic, mystery. So they have
something to that effect.
Yeah, so they have a psychic on board on site, and it just happens to be Lillia. All right,
because why not? We got to tie them all together.
Yeah, Lillia. Okay, all right, which we know is one of the coven going down the witch's road. So this is the two of them meeting each other for the very first time. So Billy comes in.
Weird that he didn't say anything.
Billy comes in. He wants Lillia to read his palm. What she says is that he has a long journey ahead of him, and a great transformation, and your lifeline is broken in two.
Oh, so that's why. I'm just now realizing what she means by that.
Yeah. Well, I think it means broken in two because you become two different people.
Well, yeah, because he was William and Billy.
Right. Okay. Right.
Billy.
Right. Okay. All right. So, and then she says, we know that Lillia, she has trauma, and we don't know her story yet, but we'll find it. We'll find out in upcoming episodes about her trial, she blurts out things, for no particular reason. Nobody knows she's talking
she's
about.
hearing
Like
voices.
She just goes somewhere and comes back.
She might have dementia.
So she blurts out the tower reversed. Don't know what that means. We'll find out later. What she also says to Billy is enjoy the now. It's the only thing that's certain. Okay. And then what she does is she draws a sigil. Okay. We know what the sigil does. When you have a sigil, your communication is cut off. There's certain information that has to be kept secret, and it cannot be told until the sigil is broken. So she draws a sigil. To me, it looked like a wolf. I don't know if that was what
looks like a
meant
snake
to be. A snake? Okay. Something with a long tail.
It's like a goofy, like squiggle.
Yeah, right.
And she threw it in his pocket.
Right. He put it in his jacket pocket. And Billy leaves the tent. And
he leaves the jacket as well.
And left the jacket behind. Now, apparently, after she dropped this sigil in his pocket, she completely forgot about it. Like, she forgot about meeting him. She forgot about dropping in the sigil. So she is in a daze. She has no idea whose jacket this belongs to. And she goes out of her tent and says, hey, some kid left their jacket. Well, what did the kid look like? Oh, I have no idea. Didn't know.
Yeah, wasn't it Rio she handed the jacket to?
No.
Or who did she hand it to?
That's somebody who attended the bar mitzvah. No one in particular.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll go back and look at it, but I didn't pick up on that. Anyway, so then there's this anomaly in Westview.
Yeah, which we know is the hex.
Yes. So I'll explain what I think it is. You can let me know if you agree with me. So this is the time when in WandaVision, well, right before WandaVision begins, this is Wanda casting the spell on the town of Westview, right? So everyone gets this notification, like this emergency weather notification that you have to, there's an anomaly going on.
Which is so fake. It's not a weather thing. It's like witch magic.
Yeah. So
apparently they were all told that it was an Avengers trading mishap or something cliche like that.
Well, that's what people thought, right? So they were running out of the ceremony and they're heading out to their cars, trying to get back home. So it's Billy and his parents. Mom is driving the car. They're heading out and they see this like crimson red shadow over them.
Yeah, like a big red dome.
Right. That it seems to be coming towards them. And then on the radio, I don't know if you picked up on this, but when they're turning the dial, you heard Wanda and Vision's voices, like they're part of the radio version of their sitcom.
The section from I believe it was the first or second episode back when they were still stuck in the 80s.
Yeah.
Not 80s, but 50s and 60s.
Yeah, right.
Because it sounded like an old radio drama, especially the quality. Jeff got really upset at it. He started hitting the dial on the radio.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I guess he was just looking for an update as to what was going on, what was happening. He wasn't getting anything except Wanda and Vision's voice. But Mom, Rebecca, gets distracted and she veers off the road and hits the tree. Now,
she did make an excellent deflection play. She somehow managed to not at all hit the other car, which was like that's a premium dodge. You don't usually manage to do that. That was pretty good.
Yeah, well...
She did kill her son, though, so that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, so I guess she did the best she could. You're right, and she veered. When you say veer, I mean she just took the car right off the road and lost control.
Talk about a sharp turn.
Yeah.
And this, kids, is why you never text and drive or take your eyes off the road. This is what my mom taught me. Wherever your eyes go, the car goes.
That's exactly right. That's exactly what happened.
Love you, Mom.
So the car crashes, and it's the passenger side, the door on the passenger side where Billy is sitting in the back seat. I said that twice. So he's sitting, and he gets the impact, right? So the tree hits the passenger side door. Billy's dead. Okay.
Yep. Rip.
Now, what was interesting is it took a little bit of time for the parents to, get their bearings together and, see what was going on. They seemed to be totally fine. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
the
like,
father especially. I mean, when he got out of the car, he ran for help. Like, okay, so he has no injuries whatsoever.
yeah, like I've heard of people like having adrenaline and they don't notice that they're injured.
Yeah.
But my man was booking it. He was perfectly fine.
Yeah, like,
and so was his mother. Like the only issue is that she couldn't open her door, so she got out the other way.
yeah, yeah.
And you know, they just left Billy in the car.
They left Billy in the car, and Dad Jeff runs for help, and he brings back a police officer who just happens to be
Alice.
Okay, it looks like we're back now. Eric, let me know if you can hear us.
We're back.
Okay. Apologize for that. You know, this is what happens when you're doing a live stream. These things happen. All right. So we're
Oopsie.
Okay. So we're picking up where we meet the protection witch, which is Alice. You know, remember she was a police officer and she's coming to help.
All the witch cameos in this episode are dead.
Okay. Oh, we're back.
Right.
Eric, can you let us know? All right. Yeah, we don't know why this is happening. You know,
right.
it's just these things. All right.
Let's get
this we will keep on going. Mm-hmm. All right. So no sound.
Oh, my days.
All right, Danielle. Thank you so much. We'll continue to work on it.
Oh my days.
All right. Let's keep going. We will figure this out.
No, it seems like okay. We're back.
Okay. How's that? All right. We'll continue. All right. There you go. All right. Thank you. We apologize, but we're going to keep moving. We thank you for your patience. Okay. So now the next scene is that Billy. Okay. Well, before that, Billy, we say he's gone, Billy Kaplan, but he, all of a sudden just wakes up. I mean, like jolts.
He comes back
in the back seat of the car.
Maximoff. The first thing he says is Tommy.
Yes, he yells out Tommy. All right, and if you know the story, Tommy is Billy's brother, twin brother. Okay,
Tommy and Billy.
That's right.
Are brothers.
Yes. Okay.
This is like the third time we've seen Billy, and we've seen 3 different versions of Billy, and neither one of them has appeared again. We saw the Billy from WandaVision from 1999-99, the Billy from Earth 838 in Multiverse of Madness, and then this Billy. I guess this is Billy Prime.
What would they not be the same Billy?
Well, no, they're all from different universes. Like the Billy from the Hex is fake. The Billy from 838 is the one from Multiverse of Madness. And this Billy is the Billy from the Hex, but in a different body and with new memories.
Interesting. Okay.
So I'm going to call William Billy Prime.
Okay. Well, okay. You call him whatever you want. Okay.
Or just Billy.
Right. Okay. So we know clearly this is not Billy Kaplan anymore. So anyway, so we get to the next scene in the hospital. We can see that Billy has superpowers, right? One,
he can hear his parents' voices.
Yes, he can. Right, he can. Like, it sounds like he can hear voices from far away. He can pick up sounds, voices, but he can also read minds, which is very interesting. I don't know if you picked up on this. So when his parents came in to visit him, they were, Jeff had his thoughts about, she's at it again, or it's always my fault, like something that he said that was negative about his wife.
Both of those things I've thought before.
Right. Yeah. So his hearing is enhanced, apparently. So they're not having a happy marriage, as you can tell. Their thoughts, they look from the outside, they look like they're happy, but that's because they don't want to tell.
Killing your son will do that to you.
Well, no, it's not about that.
Especially
I think maybe
having their son come back with amnesia.
Okay, you're joking, but this is serious actually. But these parents, apparently they're just not getting along, and we don't know why. But the reason why they're trying to keep it a secret is they don't want to upset Billy.
Yeah, because he already has amnesia. He doesn't need to have all that other stuff.
Well, right. I think they would not have done that anyway because they don't want to have a broken family, right? Yeah. So they're just trying to keep it together, until at some point, maybe when Billy is older, they might decide that they want to go their separate ways. So they pretend that, everything is fine when it's not. Mm-hmm. But Billy's picking up on this, right? He says, please stop fighting. And they're looking at him like, well, what do you mean? We're not fighting. Okay. So now let's pick up 3 years later.
I never understood why characters in TV shows who have mind reading powers, like when they first get them, they just react to things. Like if you're staring directly at somebody and you hear them say, "Oh my gosh, this dude is so stupid," but their lips aren't moving, would you reply to that, or would you look at them and assume you're hearing things? Like I never understood that because his parents aren't moving their lips. The stuff they're saying has a weird echo to it as well. But
Right.
he's responding
Because you're
like
hearing
they're
their
actually
thoughts.
saying it to them.
Correct. So your point is, if he understands that he's reading their thoughts, he shouldn't respond verbally, right? Because that would just be giving it away that, well, how'd you know I was thinking that type of thing?
Yeah, I
is what
mean,
you're saying.
I'm also very surprised his parents didn't, follow up on that.
Yeah.
Be like, yeah, that's kind of weird that you said that because we weren't fighting, but we sure were thinking about it.
Yes.
Anything you want to tell us, William? Like,
yeah. Well, okay. As parents, their child is in the hospital. He's just been in a very bad accident. They don't want to force any more trauma on him. So let's just, he has amnesia. He's going through some things. So let's not push it too much. So then he comes home and he has no idea where he is. This house is not familiar to him.
Poor kid does not remember anything.
The dog doesn't even know who he is.
Yeah, that's the thing about dogs. Like, dogs have this sixth sense. They can tell when people aren't people.
Exactly.
Like, you can come home sour and your dog will find you and cheer you up.
Exactly.
I deserve a dog, don't you think?
Oh, here we go with that dog thing. Okay, wait, look, Q&A. All right, what do we have? Thank you so much, everyone, for being here.
Nice deflection.
Thank you. Danielle, well, in a way, they lost their child either way, new soul and or amnesia. Very, very good point. Yeah, they've lost their child. They may not be aware of this. But yeah, you're right. You're right. So I wonder how this is going to impact them, the parents. Are we going to see more of them? Eric says, well, hopefully Billy Prime doesn't punch reality like Superboy Prime did in the comics. I didn't see I don't know the story about.
Is that like a crisis thing?
Yeah, I don't know the story about Superboy in the comics.
Superboy Prime, Superman, and Lois from Earth 2, and what was his name? Like Alex Luthor or something. Yeah, they were all like stuck on one Earth or something. Like, is that when that happened? You're gonna have to elaborate on that.
Yeah, I'd like to know about that. Superboy Prime. Okay, all right. So he's trying to adjust to life, and now it's 3 years later. Billy's in a relationship with a boy named Eddie. All right, played by Miles Gutierrez Riley. Okay, well, we're gonna get through this. All right. So once again, Billy is not. Well, he's not doing a very good job keeping his superpower secret.
He's very bad at this.
Because he's also reading Eddie's thoughts, and Eddie has feelings for him, and Teen or Billy has the same feelings. So,
of course.
Okay, so we figured out that the two of them really care for each other. They love each other. Okay.
And then Billy's like, I love you too. Illuminati moment. What? Since when did he ever say that?
Did you say two?
Like, Eddie's like, two?
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. And this was interesting. Well, maybe not interesting because, you can tell how much they care for each other because Billy really told Eddie exactly what's going on. For the most part, he says, well, Billy Kaplan died in that accident and I'm no longer Billy Kaplan. But who are you? He couldn't say.
Yeah.
So this is.
Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Did he have the sigil? Like, did he tell Eddie that his name was William Kaplan or William Maximoff?
Well, I get the impression that he didn't tell Eddie.
Yeah.
That Eddie still doesn't know who he is. But hey, look, there's still. Eddie is there trying to figure out, trying to help him put the pieces of the puzzle together. So they come back to Teen's home. And it looks like it's just like a crime drama where they have newspaper articles.
Like with those little strings that you got to put on the pins and connect them.
Newspaper articles all over the place trying to connect the dots, like they're trying to solve a crime. They get
awesome.
Yeah, they get on YouTube, right? And they see a YouTube video of Jennifer, the potion witch.
Yeah, she's selling those edible candles.
Yes, she's still selling those candles. All right.
It's actually really cool how all the witches, except for Agatha, cameo in this episode.
Yeah.
Like, Agatha's there, but, that's like at the 6.5 section of the episode. Because I feel like episode 6's main story is Billy, and then at the end we get the recap of the first few episodes and from his perspective, and then we get to 6.5 where him and Agatha start yapping.
Yeah, when we get to present day.
Yeah.
Right, back to the road, which is very interesting. I can't wait to talk about that. All right, so like I said, they're trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together. They find a YouTube video of the anomaly, the day that the anomaly took place in the car accident, and Billy realizes that it's more than that a spell was cast, a witch's spell. All right, so he's been doing his research on that. So what he does is he says he found someone who used to live in Westview at the time, and they're going to meet. He found him on Reddit, and
which is crazy. I also love to meet up with random people I see on the internet who actually want to talk about a topic that nobody else seems to want to speak on. Yeah. Maybe he's trustworthy. Maybe I'll meet him in an abandoned parking garage and see if he'll talk to me.
It's kind of risky meeting someone on Reddit, but anyway.
That'd be just your luck to get kidnapped by intelligentsia or something.
Yeah. Okay, so they go to meet this strange person. And guess who it is?
Yeah, this episode went all in on the Bohner jokes.
Yeah. Bohner is back. All right. Bohner is back. Oh, boy. Evan Peters, Emmy winner. He was great in this. I got to tell you. I was kind of disappointed about his character in WandaVision, but I think what they're trying.
How they played him as Quicksilver.
Yeah.
And then, he's just a random guy named Bohner. All that for a Bohner joke. Yeah. Also, like this is what I was talking about when I was talking about how I was really hoping that Teen was Billy and that it wasn't just going to be a Ralph Bohner situation where we expect him to be one person and then it just turns out to be a red herring for some stupid joke. But yeah, continue.
Okay, all right. Let me. Okay, so they're in this parking lot. Of course, it's dark. Okay, Danielle said, I think someone said his boyfriend's supposed to end up being a superpowered person too eventually. I heard that as well. Now, this is very interesting. That's a good point. Billy did have a relationship with a guy named Teddy who became Hulk.
Yeah, that's Hulkling.
Right. But this character in the series is called Eddie. So I don't know.
Eddie. Yeah. I mean, they're pretty close.
So I don't know.
You could spell Teddy with the letters in Eddie. You just have an extra T.
I get it, Keith. Yeah. But I don't know if they're actually creating a new character. Like this Eddie will become Hulkling, or are they leaving that storyline for some other time?
Hulkling is part Skrull. So he could plausibly look like a different person.
Oh. Okay, well that would make sense.
I'm so sick of Skrulls. I don't see Marvel going that route.
Okay.
Considering how badly Secret Invasion did and how the Skrulls are tied to Captain Marvel and how badly that went.
I agree.
The Skrulls don't have a very good standing in the MCU, and frankly, they're not. I don't really like them.
Okay, yeah, I get you. All right, any more Q&A? Okay, yes, we have Q&A. So Danielle, I have to say I appreciate this father-son duo. Thank you so much. Good to have that level of connection. We appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe we'll have Quicksilver and Ralph Bohner fight a Deadpool 4. Very creative.
I paid good money to see that.
That's very creative.
You know what?
Right.
They should bring Evan Peters Quicksilver into the MCU as part of the X-Men.
And
I think he deserves it.
Should we explain who Quicksilver, how Evan Peters and this character connect to Quicksilver? Yes.
All right. So, in 2014, in Days of Future Past, Evan Peters becomes Quicksilver, which was a year before Aaron Taylor Johnson became Quicksilver. Only this one survived, and he didn't.
That's true.
So, Evan Peters was actually in 3 movies. He was in Dark Phoenix and Age of Apocalypse. Well, not Age of Apocalypse, it's just X-Men Apocalypse, but I prefer saying Age of Apocalypse because why not? So, he saves everybody. The point of Days of Future Past, spoilers, is that Wolverine, Storm, Professor X, Iceman, Kitty Pryde, like a bunch of mutants, they're all stuck in this apocalyptic timeline where Mystique ended up shooting the guy who created the Sentinels, and that made the government make the Sentinels. So all the mutants are extinct except for this little group. So Kitty Pryde sends Wolverine back in time, and then he meets up with Beast and Professor X to go free Magneto. And to free Magneto, they need Quicksilver. And that's where we got that scene where he's beating up those dudes, moving the stuff out the way, the bullets in that kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And then, my favorite part, in the next movie, he does that scene with that song by Eurythmics, Sweet Dreams, and he's like running around the X-Mansion saving everybody, except Havoc, of course. We can't have that,
Okay.
Poor Havoc, but he was such a good character. I actually enjoyed him in First Class and Age of Apocalypse, but he did not make it out, but everybody else did. And then he was probably sidelined for the rest of the movie in Days of Future Past and Apocalypse. And then he gets sidelined again in Dark Phoenix. He seems to have a history of being sidelined. Between getting taken out by Dark Phoenix, taken out by the government, and taken out for not being relevant to the plot. So
maybe that's why he was taken out. Yeah.
And then he shows up in WandaVision. Then he gets taken out by the fact that he's not even there because he's just a guy named Ralph Bohner.
Right. All right.
That's a history of Evan Peters.
There you go. And,
as Quicksilver.
Right. And you just tied it all together. And Quicksilver and Wanda are brother and sister, right?
How did I leave that out?
Yeah, yes. Right. They're brother and sister. Yeah, they're related. Okay. All
it's
right.
Not these two versions.
Yeah. Understood. Okay. So we got Evan Peters back. And this is my favorite part of the episode. Yeah, my favorite part of the episode. I think the ending, towards the end, is also my second favorite. I might change that. I might flip that. Anyway, so they introduce themselves. They say, "Are you craft crazy 17?" And then Teen says, "You must be bonerific 69." These names are hilarious.
Craft, because like witchcraft.
Witchcraft.
Crazy about witchcraft.
Right, and 17, I guess that's his age. Yeah. Now, 69, I don't know, because he's not 69. He would be in his 50s, so I don't think he was born
He would not, in fact, be in his 50s.
He wouldn't. I don't know why they chose 69, but anyway. Okay, so here's the part where I was talking about WandaVision. Like, if you didn't see WandaVision, the series, this moment catches you up, okay? So Bohner, what's Randall? He wants to go by Randall, but his name is Ralph. So Ralph just lays it out, what happened, what exactly happened. Yeah. He said Wanda had the whole town acting out this weird, sad sitcom plot. You couldn't move or talk or do anything on your own. It was like watching yourself on TV inside your own head, but you couldn't turn it off. It was not a good time, right? And then...
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine being trapped in your own head for what must have felt like multiple decades, given the fact that there were time switches like every episode. And just living out this awful, fake, twisted version of reality, all for some grieving woman's needs because she couldn't cope with the loss of literally everybody she cared about.
Yes, that is true.
It's sad, bro.
It is, but that's the story. And then he keeps going on. So apparently he has a story about Agatha, but he doesn't want to tell it. So he's in his mind repeating to himself, please don't ask about Agatha Harkness. Please don't ask about Agatha Harkness.
And of course, the mind reader. So like, oh, what do you know about Agatha Harkness? And he's like, come on, man.
That was the funniest part of the episode. So of course he has to go in and he explained Agatha put him through the ringer.
Yeah. So, and then he's like Batman. He pulls out all these repellents and these little rituals and stuff.
Yeah.
He's got to protect himself. And then he starts talking about Agatha.
Yes. So Agatha, apparently they were married. Well, she said they were married. Hijacked his life, took over his home, all right, and then destroyed it and reduced the market
she opened
value.
A little witch coven under his basement.
Yeah. Force him to lock up a lady. Do you know who that lady is?
I believe it was Monica.
Monica, exactly.
Yeah, because
he locked up Monica. Locked Monica. Yeah, Monica. From the Marvels, locked her up in the attic, poisoned the dog.
So he's the one who killed Sparky.
Right.
She lied.
Yeah.
She took credit for him killing someone.
Right. So she put the blame on him. Yeah. And then, he said, this is something that was important. He said he was a terrible influence on Wanda's kids. Light bulb. So, right. So Billy wants to know, well, what happened to the kids? Well, no one knows. They just disappeared. And who are they? Well, the twins were Tommy, a speedster, and Billy, he's a mind reader.
Yeah. So, they each got their mother and uncle's genes. So one of them has Wanda's powers, and the other one has Quicksilver's powers.
So
yeah.
Yeah, and then he
And
confirms.
none of them got Vision's powers.
Yeah, and then he confirms that Wanda's dead.
And wait a minute,
And,
Vision has a daughter.
let's
But
not
his
get it.
daughter is an android named
Okay.
Viv. Wait, if these three teamed up, don't you think that would be like an awesome combo?
Yeah,
I don't know how Wanda would feel about that though.
Okay, I don't want to go too off topic, but I didn't know Vision had a daughter.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Look
right.
her up. Her name is Viv Vision.
Oh, the name sounds familiar. Okay.
Yeah, she's part of the Champions.
I see. Okay. All right. So
you can play her like a Marvel superheroes too.
Got it. Okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure.
All right. Well, let's stay on target. All right. So light bulb moment for Billy, the mind reader. He's got a brother named Tommy who's a speedster. Bohner does confirm that Wanda's dead, and that Sword used Vision for parts. Just took the machine, like a machine, just took him out, broke him up into pieces and just took him apart. And the twins just disappeared. And the last thing, Bohner, he's an actor, I believe, so he wants to sell tickets to his show in Paramus, New Jersey.
Now that I think about it, why did they take Vision apart? Don't you think he would have been an amazing government asset if they just figured out a way to put the gem back in his head or give him an artificial power source?
I don't know.
Like, you guys do realize it takes way more time to scrap him for parts and build a whole other Vision than it would to just find a way to give him a power source with a similar or lesser than output to the Soul Stone.
Well, we do know that there's
Mind Stone, my bad.
There's going to be a Vision series coming.
Well, yeah,
out,
but
right?
it's going to be White Vision.
White Vision, okay.
So unless they have somebody draw over him with expo markers and give them his comic book colors, because I'm assuming that's what they're going to do with that. I mean, White Vision is basically a blank canvas. Yeah. I can't imagine how he would feel eating pasta or anything with any colored sauce.
Right. I don't know much about White Vision. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but I'll have to do my research. So somehow this might play into all of this. Okay. But let's keep going. All right. So now Billy, he's back in his room and he's listening to Lorna Rue, one of his mother's favorite singers. And he's listening to her version of the Ballad of the Witch's Road.
She seems to only have one song.
Yeah. Well, the song he likes. And he's doing he's internet search on Agatha, and he's going through and finding all these things about the evil things she's done, the people she's murdered, and people disappearing, and all kinds of stuff that's coming up. And apparently, she's, she's done a lot. Okay. So, and now the story picks up where Agatha all along begins, but from a different perspective. So when we saw the interrogation scene in the first episode, Billy being questioned by Agatha, who she thinks she's, the mayor of Easttown. She's a police officer, and she's a very bad police officer. So we see Billy break into Agnes's home, and she catches him, and she's interrogating him once again, and he knows exactly who she is.
Yeah.
Breaks her out of the spell. All right. And now we hear Billy mentioned for the first time, and we go back to that scene where they're in Agatha's home, and she's asking him, "Who are you?" And then because he had the sigil on, we couldn't hear who he was.
Yeah.
But now
to
that
him,
the sigil,
he could hear it. To
exactly.
him, he's saying
That's a very
William
good point.
Kaplan.
That's a good point.
That's why Agatha's like, say it again.
Right. But now, not only can he hear it, but everyone can hear it. So she asked him again, "Who are you?" "I'm Billy Maximoff."
Yeah, buddy.
There you go.
Fade to black.
And look, and that is how you do a backstory. This was fantastic. This caught up everybody once again. If you didn't read the comics, fine. Didn't have to. If you didn't see WandaVision, you didn't have to. All you need to see was this one episode to get you caught up. And here we go. All right. So now, got something to say? No. Back to the Witch's Road. All right. So we're back to where we were, and we know what happened last episode. Billy took care of the witches. Jennifer and Lillia still don't know where they are, but Agatha rises from the mud. Okay.
Because why not?
Yeah, of course. She's a star. We see Billy break the sigil, so the sigil is now gone. All right. Let's stop. Go to Q&A, and we'll finish up. I love that song too. That is a great song.
Yeah, it's in my playlist.
The Ballad of Witches Road. I can't wait for that soundtrack to come out. I'm gonna pick that up.
They have the song on Spotify.
I want the soundtrack. I want everything. I want the
too.
soundtrack too. So Danielle says the thing I constantly have to remind myself is that Agatha, even with her funny lines, would turn on you in a second. Yes, she is dangerous. Very dangerous person. Yep. Didn't White Vision basically download Wanda's vision?
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. I don't know the
Yes,
answer.
he did in
Yeah, please.
WandaVision.
Okay.
Yes.
There's the answer. Okay. Thank you. They wanted that technology to study like ET being taken from an examination to surgery. Good point. Yeah. Yeah. Study.
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. All right. So now
Study.
back to study, right?
Study.
Back to the Witch's Road. Okay. So Agatha appears and she, wipes the mud off her face, comes over to Billy and says, well, that was quite a debut. You and your mother have the same tell. So Billy asked, well, what is that tell? She didn't tell anybody. We don't know. I'm hoping we'll find out. I would like to know what that tell is.
Yeah. And also,
Billy wants to finish the road without Agatha. He says he can do this on his own. He doesn't need her. And she disagrees. And she looks at him and says, oh, I know what you want now at the end of the road. You're looking for your brother Toby. And he says, Tommy. He said, that's what he said. So we now know all along. So now think about this, Keith. So remember, he has met Lillia, Alice, and Jennifer from his past. And he is responsible. I think he's responsible for bringing them all together on this road.
Two of which he saw when he was actually Billy.
Well, that's true.
Because, Alice was there after he became Billy during the car crash, and he saw Jen on his, YouTube feed.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But it seems to me that I don't know if it's intentional or maybe it was, self-conscious. He somehow brought these witches together because he's familiar with them. It's kind of like
because he's cool.
Have you seen The Wizard of Oz yet? The film?
No.
Okay, I'm not going to give it away. But
I'm kidding. Of course I've seen The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, okay. Because I don't recall us seeing it together, but you've seen it. Now,
yes.
Okay. But it's interesting. Isn't it feel like The Wizard of Oz where like Dorothy, before this magical thing happens in the movie, that the people going down this road with her, the Yellow Brick Road, are people that she knew from her past?
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that? You see the similarity? Sort of? You don't think so?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's what it reminds me of. Okay. Anyway. All right.
You gotta be kidding me. I like that song though.
Which one?
Funnily enough, like look at the comment. It's a song by Eminem and Babytron and Big Sean.
Oh,
it's all about that song that goes, Tobey Maguire got bit by a spider. That's how the song.
I never heard that song before.
Because Marvel.
Yes, I know, but yeah. So it's a song by Eminem.
Yeah.
I have not heard it.
I'll play it for you later.
I can't wait.
Not on stream though.
Okay. First off, Agatha had no clue Billy was Wanda's kid because she thought he may be her kid until Plaza set her straight. Good point. That's exactly true.
She only found out after episode 5 when, Billy got really upset with her. And then she's like, I know who you are.
Yeah.
And then she proceeded to get dunked in mud.
And you know what we also don't know yet? We don't know why Agatha is taking this road, right? Because I think we have...
Probably to find her son.
That's
or the Darkhold.
That's exactly it.
It's one of the
that's
two.
What it is. Yeah. So,
thankfully, the Darkhold was destroyed in every universe.
Yeah. So I think Scratch is still out there.
Yeah.
But that's going to be very interesting.
I am really, really shocked that Wanda is confirmed dead. I mean, I'm starting to actually believe that she's dead.
Okay. I don't.
Yeah, but you don't believe things easily.
No, I don't. And I'll explain why when we get to the end. I actually have something to tell you.
That's why I go to you when I get fishy emails. Today's sponsor, my father.
Okay. Yeah. Well, past experience, I don't always believe everybody the first time they tell me something. Anyway, so, all right, let's finish this out because this is very interesting. So again, Billy wants to go down this road without Agatha. Agatha understands now that the reason why he wants to finish this road is to find his brother Tommy. And then
Yeah, we gotta get that brothers combo.
yes. And then she says, let's go find the next trial. Last one there is a nice person. And she walks away. And then he says to himself, I'm not that nice.
He's evil.
Roll credits.
You know, for somebody who's supposed to be a young Avenger and a superhero, he's kind of evil. I don't know how they're gonna redeem him for this.
Okay.
Like, he's not evil.
Well, right.
But just, it would be a really big tone change to go from killing witches who he himself was working with and who he stopped Agatha from killing to, oh yeah, I'm going to team up with these kids and, you know, we're going to save the world. Yay!
Well, if you think about it, I mean, look, he is trying to work with Agatha. Agatha is not the nicest person to work with. So you can't be nice. So he has to be, you know, like, okay, you know, okay, you say this, I do this. You say this, I do this. You do that. You know what I mean? Like he, you know, if she's not nice to him, why should he be nice to her? Anyway, okay. So he's really dealing with, you know, she's a baddie. All right. Q&A. What do we have? She's a bad person. Knowing Agatha.
Nice clarification.
She's a bad person. Knowing Agatha, he loves his power. In our hearts, we can see her wanting her kid, but I think her choosing power over her kid again will be the nail in the coffin to any possible redemption. Ooh, you're probably right. That could be. I don't know. Agatha, I'll be honest with you. I actually like Agatha when she's bad. You know what I mean? Because that's who she is.
Yeah, that's kind of her thing.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, she's also mysterious. What Avenger doesn't have significant kill count by this point?
Spider-Man.
Okay.
I think he's the only one. Because, you know, Captain America was in World War II. Hulk is Hulk. Hawkeye and Black Widow are like S.H.I.E.L.D. agents who are assassins. Tony Stark literally sold weapons for a living. Thor, he's an Asgardian god. He's been alive for 1,000 years. He's seen multiple wars, so, you know, of course. Black Panther, he's the king of Wakanda.
Yeah, and he's seen a lot.
Wakanda is obviously like getting attacked by intruders like all the time.
Absolutely.
Well, not all the time, but pretty frequently.
Right.
Like, you get my point. Spider-Man is the only one.
Spider-Man. Okay. That's a very good answer. I like that. I agree.
Even Rhodey, his name is literally War Machine.
Everybody's ready for war. Okay. Speaking of the end credits, I want to talk about something real quick, if you allow me. I know I'm being a nerd about this, and you know, look, I don't care.
A-class nerd over here.
I have been analyzing these end credits, okay, and I found something. I think I found something. So most people don't wait for the end credits. You know, when the movie's over, you know, if you're in a movie theater, they just get up and go. But I do check the end credits, and sometimes it happens at the beginning, like the beginning credits. But I don't know if this is something that is required by the Actors Guild. But when you put in the title cards, you know, for the actors, like, so you, of course, the biggest the main character, she's going to, you know, he or she is going to come first, right? Catherine Hahn. Obviously. And then you have the other characters, the supporting actors coming. And then the last actor in the title card is Patti LuPone. All right. But it says with Patti LuPone. Now, usually when you say with Patti LuPone, then there's another name.
And then they say and.
Exactly, right.
Yeah, like, you know, with Samuel L. Jackson and Chris Evans.
Whatever, right. You know, whoever. And usually the and person is somebody big, like a legacy actor or somebody just very important. Like I'm thinking about Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, right? Like Harrison Ford, his name is first, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
All right.
Then they have like the legacy actors who get the with and the and.
Right. And do you remember in that movie, The Last Crusade, who was the and? The actor that got the and. Do you remember? You should know this.
Why?
Because you've seen the movie.
Well, yeah, but I've seen it once. I didn't watch it in the credits.
Right. Sean Connery, right? Because Sean Connery is a legendary actor. And he's playing a very important role. So his and Sean Connery. So the reason why I'm saying this, there is an and out there. So I believe the and is going to be Elizabeth Olsen. I think we're going to see Wanda at the end of this series. Maybe in the last episode, I think there's somebody big that's coming.
Or it could be J. Jonah, Jimmy Jackson, Janice Jameson III.
Right. And that's the reason why I think Agatha is not dead. Or if she's dead, she's going to come back. Because that's what the fans want. Right? I know it's fan service, but it makes sense.
I'm kind of done with Wanda.
No, you're not done. No, that's not true.
I am though. Multiverse of Madness. Like I'd love to see her again.
Well, I think
as long as they make her a hero, because I was all for her being insane at some point. That's exactly right. Multiverse of Madness just threw me up a wall.
Right, but I think they need to do right by her character.
They gotta give her by Wanda,
right? Because what happened in Multiverse of Madness should not have happened, and I think Wanda needs a fresh start. So we're going to see. I am 99% sure we're going to see Elizabeth Olsen.
I'd love to know how she survived that. So she dropped a building on herself.
Okay. Q&A. Who do we have? What do we have? Or the Tommy actor? Who would the Tommy actor be?
I don't know.
It's a good point.
I have no theories.
Eric says, I'm a nerd too. I wrote a 132-page Star Wars fan script. You're in good company. Look, hey, we can't help ourselves, Eric, so thank you. So Billy and Tommy, technically speaking, the Olsen twins. There you go. Very good. I like Eric's sense of humor. That's it. Ant-Man, I would assume his kill count is the lowest.
After Spider-Man, of course.
Yeah, that's
Spider-Man hasn't killed anybody.
That's true.
Ant-Man almost killed people.
Yeah, Ant-Man is just way too nice a person. So yeah, that's a very good.
Yeah, Ant-Man is too
I like that.
Guy.
Ant-Man. Okay. All right. So that is.
I love Ant-Man.
Okay. You can like her as a villain, but never forget that she is a villain. Aesop fables Frog and the Scorpion. Believe them when they show you who they are. Absolutely right.
My mom says that.
Yes, it's true. It is absolutely true.
My mom says a lot of things, and most of them are valid.
Hey, your mom knows a lot, so
thanks,
Mom.
That's
exactly true.
We should do a house tour.
You should show them they'll show you who they are. All right, so we're wrapping up episode 6. We're not quite done yet because I want to talk about an article that came out a couple of days ago. Speaking of Spider-Man, so Tom Holland read Spider-Man 4 script with Zendaya, and it says it's excellent, but needs work. So let's see. Tom, you want to read this for me? Okay.
Tom Holland revealed during an interview on the Rich Roll podcast that he recently read a draft of the script for his 4th Spider-Man movie, and it needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. Variety confirmed in September that Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings filmmaker Destin Daniel Cretton is in early talks to direct a sequel, taking over Holland's franchise from his trilogy director John Watts. One of the things that, with Marvel, your film is a small cog in a large machine, Holland said about Spider-Man 4 development. That machine has got to keep running. You have to make sure you can fit into that timeline at the right time to benefit the bigger picture. That's one of the challenges we're facing. The time in which we need to get that done is a tall order, but definitely achievable with the people we have working now. We have a creative and we have a pitch and a draft, which is excellent, Holland added. It needs work, but the writers are doing a great job. I read it 3 weeks ago and it really lit a fire in me. Zendaya and I sat down and read it together, and we at times were bouncing around the living room like, this is a real movie worthy of the fans' respect.
I love that. I love
the accent.
Well, no, that was good, Keith. Very good. You sounded like Tom Holland.
I'm getting fired for this one.
But I like that the two of them are they're adorable. The two of them are so excited, that they're bouncing around like they just can't wait to get this movie started. So, do you feel good that this is coming soon?
I mean, I feel good that the actors feel good.
Exactly, yeah.
Like I don't want to see a movie where every single person on set is absolutely miserable. But this seems like it's really good. Also, I don't know if you've been hearing about this, but I've heard that Sony wants to make another big multiverse adventure, and Marvel wants to make a grounded Spider-Man movie. Please, Sony, please don't do this. Like, with all due respect, that is an awful idea, because not only do you have a movie series that's express purpose is to deal with the multiverse that's made billions already in the Spider-Verse trilogy, you already did that same story with No Way Home. So at this point, I think we're pretty good with the Spider-Man multiverse stories.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Like, they set us up perfectly for a grounded Spider-Man.
I think we're done with the multiverse. I really hope so. And I like the idea for it being grounded. I'm ready for that as well, Danielle. Peter Parker and Miles Morales. Come on. Bring Miles Morales to the big screen. I can't wait.
Wait a minute. What? So you know how the MCU seems to be absolutely sure that their universe is 616, even though it's not. You know the Peter B. Parker that we see in the MCU
The Spider-Verse
and
movies.
Spider-Verse movies.
Mm-hmm.
The Spider-Verse movie Peter Parker is also from Earth 616. So does that mean that these are the same person?
Oh, well, man, these 616, these timelines are getting me confused. All right. I just want it to be a good story. We now know Zendaya is going to be in it, right? Now that's interesting because she doesn't remember Peter Parker. I don't want to bring up that movie because I know you're going to start breaking dishes, Ryan.
You know what? I find it absolutely ridiculous that Spider-Man couldn't even be bothered to tell MJ that he was Peter Parker. Yeah. Like, first of all, that was an awful idea. I hope Doctor Strange gets fired and loses his job over this. Because how do you let a teenager mess up your spell? You couldn't have just told him to write down a list of everybody he wanted to remember. Or, even better, how about you just write a spell to make all the villains forget that Peter's Spider-Man? Or everybody except the people that Peter cares about. But I'm going to stop talking.
Yeah. Well, Spider-Man 4 seems to be on the way. We got a script. When you have a good script, that's like half the battle, okay? And it looks like they got Daniel Destin Cretton to direct, which he's a great director, Shang-Chi.
Yeah,
so
I love Shang-Chi.
And then look, I can't wait to hear the cast, when they start announcing who's going to be in the movie. That's going to be awesome. So
it's going to be big.
Well, I'm hoping we'll hear that next year. Okay?
Obviously, Tom and Zendaya.
Yes.
Maybe Jacob Battle will be in there instead.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
I don't know. They didn't say.
Also, speaking of the multiverse, I have a really good idea. The MCU should use Secret Wars and all that Battle World stuff as a jumping off point to reset the multiverse and get rid of it. Like, here's what you can do. You can soft reset. Basically, this gives you a really great example and a really great opportunity to pick and choose the aspects of the world that you want to keep. Like, if you want to keep, let's say, Tom Holland as Spider-Man, because he's got many more good movies in him, and you want to keep Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, and Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, you can do that. But you could recast like Black Panther, Hulk, Captain America. You can make a whole new line of X-Men. You can pick and choose which actors stay and which ones don't, Like, you can do that stuff with Secret Wars. So they should absolutely do that. Combine all the good stuff that you want into one universe and cut off access to the rest of them. Destroy the multiverse. Okay. Get rid of it.
All right. There you have it. Okay. Yeah. That's our take. All right. So we've been away from Star Wars for a little bit. We are still a Star Wars podcast, but we will be getting back into it. A couple of things that we're going to be doing. So if you are a fan of the comics, you may know that we like I'm involved. There's a new line of Star Wars comics coming out, right? This is Insurgency Rising. We got issue number 1, issue number 2 already available. These issues are taking place immediately after Return of the Jedi, The Fall of the Empire, nice. Which I am on board with. I can't wait to get into these comic books.
That area has not been explored in its 30 years of prime storytelling.
You got
can have all
so
the
many
big players together.
Yes,
like you have all the characters from the Mandoverse and all the characters from the original trilogy, and you can just take them all and just do what you want with them.
Yes. So I can't wait to get into that. So we will be reviewing the series. Some more information to come later. Next thing, we are going to celebrate Disney Star Wars because Disney has acquired Lucasfilm for over 10 years now. I think it's going on 14 years, if I got my math right. 2012, yes.
12 years.
So we're going to celebrate Disney Star Wars, right? We're not going to tell you everything about it right now, but look out for that. We're just going to talk about some of the things that we enjoy that has taken place since 2015, 2014.
Yeah,
all right.
Disney Star Wars specifically.
Yeah.
Movies and TV shows included.
Exactly. All right. So more information on that. But we just want to let you know that we will be back with our Star Wars content very soon. Okay. All right. Thank you to our patrons, Baraxium and Mary B. Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcast socials, our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers and Galaxy, website fathersandgalaxy.com. You can always donate to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Fathers and Galaxy. Please, 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 please.
Yeah, right. And, look, and we're, This year we really didn't do a whole lot of traveling to comic conventions this year.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
because we
because we
had,
just
yeah,
bought a house
well,
and
right,
moved.
yeah,
So we
understood.
we had some really big priorities to get checked before we did
Yeah,
that.
yeah, understood. But
Also, I am getting books thrown at my head. Like
I don't know what you're talking about.
I am swamped in homework.
Yeah, no, okay.
So I gotta get that out of the way.
Yeah. But my point is that, we would like to pick up,
Espresso depresso and all that.
taking these trips to different cons, but we need your support to do that, so if you feel, obligated, or not obligated, but if you,
If you want
feeling
to
in your heart, if you have it, to help us and our
help us
patron,
out,
please, we
please.
would really love that. It would help us go a long way to getting us, to these Comic Cons and getting our name out there. And, all good things happen, when we have the patrons, all right, to do a lot more. All right.
Okay, if you could tell me the first appearance of Wanda in the MCU, I'll give you $10.
The first appearance of Wanda in the
Yes.
MC in the films.
Yes, you get one guess.
The Avengers movie, the second one. I can't remember the name of the movie right now.
Age of Ultron.
Yes, Age of Ultron. That was it, right?
No.
Oh.
It was a
I thought-
post-credit scene in Captain America.
Oh,
the
that
Winter
doesn't
Soldier.
count.
Yes,
You
it
don't do a
does.
post-credit scene.
You
That's
don't count Nick Fury showing up at the end of Iron Man as him being introduced.
Yeah, okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you. That was a trick question.
I mean, I'll
All
give you
right.
10 cents.
Okay. All right. I'll take it.
Okay.
That is it, everyone. Thank you so much. We enjoyed this. Thank you for those who are, got through with our sound problems, and thank you for watching us now. Or if you're going to be watching us later or listening to us, thank you. All right, we'll be back next week for episode 7 of Agatha All Along.